Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. So my live series that I have put out there to you guys is going to be at random. It's going to be random days and times, only because, as you know, I have a little one now. So things are a little bit different. Before I would say, okay, it's going to be a 5-day series at 7 o'clock every, starting this date, this date, this date. If I did that, I would be setting myself up for failure with you because I don't know how my little one is going to be. It's rather unpredictable, as you know. She's actually right over here. That's why I keep leaning over. So let's talk about the first part of the series. And I'm so glad that you were able to join me. If you are not able to join live, thank you for being here watching the replay. So, of course, I have a ton of notes like I always do. If you've watched my lives before, I always have something that I read off of because I don't want to forget anything. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is how fat is burned. And I'm going to tell you, most of us are missing the boat, okay? Most people are missing all of the steps that need to be taken in order to burn fat efficiently, okay? Now, the thing is that a lot of times people are like, well, I'm just going to do this quick, this and that, which is completely fine. I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong, but if your goal is fat burning, then you have to really go through the steps and the processes of burning fat. And it's a little more in depth, and it's a little longer workout, actually a lot longer. So let's talk about that really quick. I'm going to glance over at my notes. And to know how to attack belly fat, for example, which is the biggest area all of us really want to focus on, right? It's our belly fat, it's our hips and our thighs. Okay, that is the area that our female bodies just love to store fat, right? Our waistline, our muffin top, the hips, so on and so forth. Here's an example, I just had a baby, and where did all of the fat really go to? Definitely the hips, butt, thighs area, waist for sure, belly, absolutely, obviously that's where she was at, but, and I'm going to tell you guys a story about Buckle, the Buckle jeans store at the end. Hopefully I'll remember because it's actually kind of hilarious. But anyway, so to know how to attack fat, guys, is you need to know a little bit about how fat is burned. So let's review this fat burning process. So the first thing is that fat needs to be released from the cell, okay? And that process is called lipolysis. Okay, it's kind of a crazy word, right? But we don't want to go to science class. But basically, you need to get the fat released. So it's like you have to open up the window to release the fat into the system, okay? Then it's kind of a complicated pathway from there. It's very scientific, but it's very simple in what we need to do. But fat needs to then be carried to another cell, okay, through the bloodstream. Now, mind you, if you have poor circulation, then that's going to be a little bit difficult. And you need to do things like massage. You can even get like the fascia blaster, that sort of thing. Circulation is key here, you guys. Okay, so because poor blood flow in a certain area is going to mean poor fat loss. So if you've got areas that fat is trapped, trust me, you're going to want to get in there and get that circulation going. So circulation is huge, okay? Next, fat needs to enter another cell to be burned, okay? So first of all, released, carried through the blood, and then enter another cell to be burned, okay? And this process of fat is actually being burned is called lipid oxidation. Now, fat needs to be oxidized, okay? Oxygen. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so here's the deal. Now, if you are not aware of this, that fat is expelled through your lungs, okay? Now, if you've ever trained with me, if you've ever been one of my clients at the gym, I have assigned to you to sing while you are working out, okay? There is a reason for that. Sorry, I'm just paying attention to my little one real quick here. There is a reason for that. Fatty acid oxidation, okay? Once again, like I said, lipid oxidation, okay? So the fact of the matter is, let me just give you an example of what most people do when they work out. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Liz. Most people, they will, you know, maybe just do a little, okay, I got this, right? Okay. Which is fine. You could do 30 minutes on the treadmill a day, which is helpful, all right? But if your goal is to really burn fat and really make body transformation change, you need to get huffy puffy when it comes to your warm-up, okay? So that would be like you're getting hot, heated. Don't have a fan blowing on you, people. When you work out, you want to get hot. Wear sweatshirts, that sorts of things. Those sweatsuits, you know, those things that, you know, sometimes people look at and I'm like, is that really working? Well, I have to say it kind of is helping keeping them hot, okay? So you want to get really huffy puffy, warm, hot, okay? Breathless. You want to get breathless. You are releasing, you're opening up the window, all right? Then the next part of your workout, so let's say that's like a 10-minute deal. Then the next part of your workout, you could choose something like some weight training, okay? Resistance training, you guys, is key. If you are avoiding resistance training, you are doing yourself a disservice. Resistance training is going to help you burn more fat. It's going to help you get lean and toned. It's going to help your bones. It's just overall one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Weight training is something that I am chomping at the bit to get back to. I have 2 more weeks to wait. So let's do this. So warm up, huffy puffy, resistance training. You could even do like a HIIT workout. You can do something, okay? You got to get that blood flowing, get the fat cells moving, right? Then we have to burn that fat that you released. Are you hearing me? You have to burn the fat. Here's the deal. This is the step that most people miss. And excuse me, I have to reach over and give my little one her bottle. This is the step that most people miss, is that they release the fat and then they go eat right away. Now, people, let me tell you, if fat loss is something that is your goal, you need to not eat for at least, if you have at least 15 or more pounds to lose, I'm going to tell you, don't eat for at least 60 to 120 minutes after you work out, okay? Now, I'm also going to tell you this. If you have somebody that you're working with, like a trainer or, you know, somebody like that, just be aware that you are going to have people on different sides of the fence. That's why people get so confused. You can take this information and talk to Sally Sue or Tommy Boo or whoever, and they're going to be like, what? Da-da-da, because everybody has their own belief system. Partially is educational, and another part is experience, what works for themselves and works for their clients. So I'm just telling you that everybody is also different. But the fact of the matter is, when it comes to fat burning, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of people that aren't aware of this because not everybody is trained to understand hormones and how this whole process works. Not everybody likes science class, right? Okay, so where was I at? Sorry, see, this is how I get off track. This is why I have to have my notes. Okay, so we talked about the workout. Okay, this is the most important thing that you have to do. You have to burn the fat by, here it is. Are you ready? You need to do at least 60 minutes of walking on the treadmill or like an elliptical type workout. So you are going to be looking at least a 90 to 120 minute workout. Yep, sorry. It is what it is, okay? Do you have to do that every day? No, but I would say do that at least 3 to 4 times a week. Once again, this is quite a nugget of information that I'm sharing with you because not everybody knows this. Most people are over here. They do their 30-minute workout, and then they're like, whew, that was so great. I got a good workout. Okay, where's the smoothie bar? And then what are they doing? They've released the fat. Now they're going to eat. Chances are their smoothie is loaded with sugar because they're putting all kinds of crap in it. And what I mean by crap, and I don't mean in a negative way. But putting mangoes and all these high glycemic index type sugars and such in their smoothie, and it's really not serving them well at this point. You want to keep it very simple, but you also want to make sure that you wait almost 2 hours before you eat. So what's happening here, people, is that when they run to the smoothie bar, they're restoring the fat cells that they released. Aha moment, right? Okay. Number 1, release the fat. Number 2, the cells need to be carried to another cell. Good circulation is important to burn the fat. When this fat is released, it has to be burned. You have to take the time, people. Sorry, you might think I'm the bearer of bad news right now. You're probably going, what the fuck? Really? Are you serious? Come on, there's no way. Let me go talk to Sally Sue and see what she says. Okay, now you're going to get really confused. Okay? But I'm just telling you that this is the truth. Now, if you think back to a time, because we've all done this, okay? We've all done this. Now, here's the deal. Think back to a time when you've really been, successful with your weight loss and da-da-da. And I'm sure exercise is a great part of it, because a lot of times, we think if we exercise more and eat less, that that's going to be better, da-da-da-da-da. But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you. You have to have your eating on point in order to engage in this sort of activity. If you want to lose fat, there is a whole thing that goes along with this. This has to do with the amount of carbohydrates that you're eating, the amount of fats that you're eating. This is not a protocol of exercising more and eating less. Do you hear me? Okay? So this is super important. Your hunger, energy, and cravings have to be in check. You have to be on point with all of this before you can even think of incorporating this. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to burn out your adrenals. You're going to screw up your metabolism, okay? So it's super important that you figure all these things out, okay? And that's why I created my program, so that I can help people figure this out. So that, I help people take the guesswork out. Help them to understand what foods speak to them, what amount, how to eat, meaning when, what to combine it with, that sort of thing. Okay, now, so that was kind of a big what, right? People are kind of freaking out, but that's okay. Don't freak out. Just know that that is truth, okay? Your body is a very complicated but very smart mechanism, I guess you would say. The human body is brilliant, okay? And we have to understand that there are just certain steps. There's no shortcuts, okay? All right, so next, why is some fat stubborn? I'm just going to read from my notes. Unfortunately, some fat, like belly fat, you guys, is very difficult to burn. How can this be? Well, to understand stubborn fat, we need to cover some basics of biochemistry, and this is really basic, okay? I'm just going to read this to you. It can get a little bit technical. Like I said, let's go to science class just for a second. So here's the deal. Fat enters or leaves fat cells mainly due to the activity of 2 enzymes, okay? You've got your lipoprotein lipase, which is called LPL, which acts to store fat, okay? And hormone-sensitive lipase, okay, which is called HSL, okay? Hormone-sensitive, do you hear me? Okay, which acts to release it. Now, notice the name, like I just said, notice the name of the major fat releasing enzyme, hormone-sensitive. Now, you've also heard me talk about, in the past, I talked about the toga party versus the black tie party. Always know that your hormones are always socializing with each other, but it just depends on who they're socializing with. You can have one hormone that socializes with another hormone and it's going to be a disaster, or you can have one hormone, that same hormone that mingles with a different hormone, and it could be a beautiful thing that goes on. Something beautiful can be orchestrated, okay? Just like humans. You are who you hang out with. You hang out with people at a toga party where you're going to act like an ass, probably. You hang out with people at the, black tie party, you're going to have your shit together, right? You're going to be a little bit more, sharp than you would at a toga party, okay? So just like hormones, same thing. So, notice too, now here, you always hear me talk about calories and how people always want to, fix their weight problem with calories, and it's your metabolism is not a math problem, I'm sorry to say. So, that said, like I said, hormone sensitive, right? Hormone sensitive lipase. It's not calorie sensitive lipase. All right. Yes, calories matter, but hormones matter more. They're always going to trump. Okay. Hormones matter. You have to pay attention to your own biofeedback and what your hormones are basically communicating. Your hormones communicate to your body what's going on in the outside world and what you are doing. Okay. So that's important. Hormones. Okay, it's all about hormones and not a calorie reduction, okay? It's the hormones that stimulate the fat release, okay? So HSL, which is the hormone-sensitive lipase, releases fat due to the signaling of a compound called cyclic AMP, and this is impacted by the activity of hormone receptors in fat tissues called the adrenic receptors, AR. Like I said, science class. Okay, it gets a little technical. All right, so there are two types of adrenic receptors, alpha and beta. All right, so here's the thing. This gets very interesting. You're going to find this very interesting. The alpha receptors, they slow fat release, and beta speed up the fat release, okay? So to keep this straight in your head, think A, anti-burn, B for burn. So alpha is anti, B for beta, burn, okay? So in addition to having a direct impact on fat release, these receptors also impact blood flow, okay? There's that word again, okay? Circulation is huge, you guys. More alpha receptors mean less blood flow to an area. Get that damn fascia blaster. Get your massages going, okay? And more beta receptors mean greater blood flow. So here's the deal. Like right now I'm nursing, okay? The body will hang on to a little extra. There is actually a hormone that tells my body to hold the bone. Don't let all that fat go. Don't let her lose all her baby weight because she needs that. It's like a protective cushion kind of thing. At least, at least a good 10 pounds of that. I have 25 to go. I mean, a good portion of that was, I gained 45, lost 20. Now I've got 25 to go. It'll be a little bit of an uphill battle, but if I follow my protocols, I'll be totally fine. But also when it comes to nursing, okay, I'm just going to give you an example. My thighs are like kind of out of hand. But when I look at my thighs, I can literally see little fat pockets. They're like fat pockets. It's very interesting, okay? And I'm like, oh, wow, fat pockets. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. But I have my fascia blaster. I'm just going to kind of get in there. All I'm going to do is I want to get my fascia blaster in there just to keep the circulation going, okay? I know that my body is telling itself, okay, you need to hold on to this extra fat for the nursing and da-da-da, but I'm still going to help my body along by making sure, I'm just going to say, hey, body, sure, you can hold on to that extra fat if you'd like to, but let me just kind of help the circulation along here. Do you see what I'm saying? Circulation is huge, you guys, okay? So remember, the amount of blood flow is important because fat needs to be released from a fat cell and move through the bloodstream to get to another cell so that it can be burned, okay? Lower blood flow means slower fat loss, okay? So that, my friends, is why some fat is stubborn. It's because of the blood flow. Isn't this interesting? Okay. Super, super interesting. the fact of the matter is that there are just some things that you need to partake in. Just kind of like, I don't know if you saw me last year and I stepped into my little personal sauna. That was for a reason. I don't sit there and say, okay, I'm just going to lose weight, I'm going to lose weight. That was a step that I took prior to, any kind of massage, or if I felt like doing my fascia blasting, that sort of thing. But it's also about getting rid of toxins and, all of that stuff. So there's a lot to the whole sauna thing. But the fact of the matter is, you guys, when it comes to fat burning, you have to remember that it's a big process. It's a big process, okay? Remember, you expel it, you oxidize it through your urine, oxygen basically through your air, and through sweating. So, it's one thing to have your diet on point. Yes, you will lose fat that way. But if you really want to transform, exercise is pivotal. Now, here's the deal I'm going to tell you something about this whole exercise process. Now, for example, if you're a student in my academy, you may sound like I'm talking to both sides of my mouth at this point, but there's a reason for this. I do not express or push exercise on my people until I know that their stress is managed, or that we are working on it, and that their sleep is on point. Okay? Why? Because exercise is stress to the body. And I don't want to say to somebody, hey, you need to do this kind of exercise, da, da, da. You also have to work yourself up to this point too. So it's all about having all of your ducks in a row. You have to have, like I said, your hunger, energy, and cravings in check, your stress managed, your sleep. If you're somebody that's getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep and then waking up and going to the gym the next day, well, guess what? Private message me or comment and tell me, chances are you probably have gotten very, very little results because you're stressing out your body. People don't understand that, but all people think of is they're not thinking on a cellular level. They're not thinking of hormones and the communication. All they're thinking of is that math problem. Got to get these calories out. I got to burn. Okay, I burned 200 calories. Woo, got to keep going. And that's not what it's all about, you guys. There's so much more to this. There's so much more. So, as one of my clients, for example, we don't really even talk about exercise until probably the 3rd week, because I need to know that they have all of these things in a row. It's super, super important. I think my little one is making a movement. She needs to. She's had some trouble. But let me talk about Buckle for a second. I want to talk to you guys. So this is so funny. I went yesterday to Buckle because I needed a pair of pants, okay, because I'm in like this weird spot. And I'm going to tell you, I called in advance to listen. I have a lot of time, but I need you to pull some pants for me, right? Well, when it comes to jeans, you got to have pushback, people, meaning that you got to have something that says, whoa, hold the phone. You've had a couple too many beers or whatever it is. I couldn't believe. I said to the girls there, I said, listen, I cannot believe these jeans are like a pair of yoga pants. They were so stretchy. I found it hilarious. I'm just like, this is a disservice to people. You gotta have a pair of pants that tells you, like, listen, sister, you gotta stop that. Whatever, if you're entertaining in some noise of not if you're not eating right or something, your jeans should not grow with you. That's all I'm going to say. But I was just like, so then I said, listen, you got to get a different pair. She gave me like all these, like, when stretch first started, being put into jeans, it was a very, very, very small amount, okay, which is nice. It kind of just feels a little more comfortable, because those of us back in the day that grew up wearing Jordache, I mean, there was a reason why we were laying on our bed using the hangers, pulling up our zippers, right? Yeah, that was me. I like my jeans tight. I like them snug. I like to feel a little pushback, If I'm pushing out, I need something that's going to be like, hey, listen, back the truck up here, sister. Anyway, so we found a pair of jeans, that actually fit pretty decent. I'm happy with them, and I'll be able to probably wear them after I lose the weight, but they'll probably be more of like the, you know, the casual run around going shopping or to the apple orchard type of jeans. But I was just so horrified at the way that they're making these pants now. I'm just like, listen, man, I like my stuff tight. So anyway, just an FYI, you guys, seriously, try to, if you can, get yourself a legitimate pair of jeans that have maybe just a hint of stretch in it. That's just my opinion. That's the side of the fence that I'm standing on. I am not a big believer in all these stretch pants. I just don't think they serve anybody well, period, end of story. You wear those pants to work out in, and you go home and you get your pants on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, my little one is starting to fuss. I'm going to have to wrap things up. Thank you so much for tuning in. My October class is launching on the 23rd. If you have been watching, now is the time. You know, you can also apply again for, you can apply for the scholarship. You have until the 13th, midnight. I'll be announcing on the 14th. Now I'm all distracted. So go to themetabolismrebootacademy.com. Check out the program. You can also see where you can apply for the scholarship. If you've applied once, you can always apply again. Okay? I'm always going to choose one winner. So make sure that you reach out to me if you have any questions. But if you do apply, I will definitely be reaching out to, you know, chat with you and answer any questions or, you know, that sort of thing. So I have to go. Now my baby's really upset. But thank you for tuning in, and I hope that was educational for you. And we'll see you soon. Bye.